if I understood it well, you kind of harvesting the wisdom of your ancestors. And as you were talking about, I was wondering that, do you have the assumption that they had greater wisdom that we have right now, or you believe in the integration of the wisdom of our times and their times, and you want to harvest this kind of synergy? Or did I understood it well?
Well, I start only from the only assumption that I have is about my own life, in the sense that what I see around myself is, I see that I am very uncomfortable in the current world or life, and so this looking for the solutions that those who came before us developed is pretty much just like archaeology. You know, sometimes you find something of value, sometimes you don't. And but so far, I have found several things that have been useful in my own life. So the most important issue here is that this is not an academic pursuit.
Mm.
This is something that has to do also with my own personal approach to life, my own personal issues with life.
And how does it connect to Erasmus Plus? Like, how put you together these three things, like cultural archaeology, Libero Pensatore, and Erasmus Plus? Where is the meeting point?
Well, the meeting point for Erasmus Plus is pretty much the same, in the sense that for me, Erasmus Plus represents a huge step, because in my previous incarnation, I have been an academic for a long time. So my job was uh, to teach, and so coming back to this format of interaction, of working in training, has been very, very big, because at the beginning I had totally rejected this model, and so in
Mm.
Erasmus Plus I have somehow uh, um, discovered, and I am discovering, the fact that it is possible to work in training and at the same time make it meaningful. So I'm in with for Erasmus Plus. The big difference with academia is that I'm not expected um, uh, to bestow any type of big final truth to the people who are listening to what I have to say. What I can do rather is to uh, uh, put in practice my understanding of human processes with all its fallibility. So, in a sense, an Erasmus Plus experience is an experience that we do together, and rather than an academic class where you just sit and listen to this silly Italian guy who's blabbering about some sort of theory, you know.
And how does it look like in the practice? Like, let it be an Erasmus Plus project which is connected to Libero Pensatore, or let it be a project of yours which is connected to your vision. What would be experience around you in your
Well,
local place?
you mean how an Erasmus Plus experience related to cultural archaeology could look like, right?
Yes, yes, or your activities which are connected to this vision.
Hmm. Well, let's start from the Erasmus Plus. I think the best example is the project that we are developing together
Mhm.
of the uh, pilgrimage training, an Erasmus Plus pilgrimage of sustainability,
Yeah.
and it. I live in Umbria, which is in the center of Italy. very near to the town of Assisi, where St. Francis came from. And so while we were talking, when we were in Hungary, this idea came about. No, why don't we um, literally walk the steps of St. Francis? The Franciscan monks were moving around a lot.
Mm.
They were the proto Erasmus ambassadors, no? Because for a Franciscan, walking around on the territory was central. No, you walk from monastery to monastery, and along the way, a lot of things happen. And this is pretty much the same with Erasmus Plus. No, you go from one place to the other, and along the way, you meet people and things happen. So the idea was, okay, let's trace the steps of Saint Francis, um, and along the way, let's connect with the events that Saint Francis encountered in his path. There are stories, there are a lot of stories that we can dig, just like a cultural archaeologist
Mm.
would do. We dig into these stories and we try to bring them to life, in a sense that we don't just listen to the story of Saint Francis and the wolf and as a devout Christian would do, but we try to relate that to our current problems with sustainability, with our current problems, for example, with greed. No,
Mm.
the wolf in the San Francis story. Many people say that the wolf that was tamed by Saint Francis was in fact a bandit, the head of a group of of thieves that were assaulting people in the forests. No, and Saint Francis was able to tame this character. And so this is a problem, no, for us as well, because nowadays we encounter from time to time people that uh, have this approach to life that is extractive, no,
Mm.
that take advantage of whatever situation there is, starting from the environment, from other people, from the conditions that are surrounding them, any type of resource, and they just exploit whatever they find and then move on to the next one. No, so this is a common problem that was here 1,000 years ago and is here now. And we are the thieves sometimes. No, we are the ones who extract, for example, from our own bodies. No, we end up being sick because we are so motivated about I don't know, making money or achieving success, for
Mm.
example, that this becomes a problem, no? And in sustainability like this, there are a series of issues that we can read and we can explore, starting from the stories of St. Francis, while moving along the paths of forests and countryside of Umbria. And this was, I think, the best example of an application of cultural archaeology, no?
Mm. So your digging is kind of focusing on a role model, let it be a person or lifestyle, which can speak to us and create us a more harmonious and also sustainable and life. Because it sounds to me that it's kind of the ingredients of a simple and wise life, which is not requiring too many materialistic tools and equipments, but the focus is on maybe simplicity and mm, some kind of nurturing the soul. Is this what you also think, or what you also would like to promote? Yes.
Well, the idea of the role model in my own life, I have always learned from by example, from people that I um, respected, and I have encountered in my life several of these people that each one of them has left me something that I value very much in my own life, that I consider very precious. Every uh, um, if you want, I believe in the existence of masters. They are not many,
Mm,
they are very few, the real ones. There are, we are submerged by false masters nowadays, but
mm,
a few of them are the real deal. And when you meet them, um, when I meet them, I want to make sure that I learn as much as I can. And the last example was with you with Odysseus,
yeah.
in the last Erasmus Plus situation, no? And it was very funny because my initial reaction was absolutely like, oh, I don't like this woman, uh, and I understood afterwards that my unconscious was doing this because it had recognized very well that I was in front of a real master that had something to to teach me, to show
Mm,
me. And this is always it always requires an effort, and it's always sometimes it can be painful, sometimes it can be uh, hard, sometimes it can mm, require a lot of strain, because these are people that put us in front of our own limitations so that we can find a way to overcome them. And I have a huge respect for these people when I meet them.
mm. Just for our listeners, that we are talking about the Your Heart Beats training course, where Audicia Morley from Scotland was the main facilitator, and she is the master, let's call it like this, of art expression with the Tamalpa method. And she's also an amazing master of speaking the language of the soul, the language of our spirit, and it helps a lot for individuals or groups to to being able to express emotions and be more gentle with yourself and others and so on, and for many other things. But it's really it was a remarkable meeting with her.
And this, I think, is also what you just said is very relevant for the second part of your question, the issue with materialistic life. And obviously, we are composed of matter,
Mm,
starting from our physical body. Obviously, a central issue for us as human beings, as well as for the organizations we are part of, is the famous economic issue. And this is central because without it, we cannot survive. Without the calories that keep up our body, we die. Without the air that we breathe, we die. Without the funds that keep up Origo or Associazione Libero Pensatore, those entities die. and
mm,
and this is central, and this is more than central. I would say this is a necessary condition for things to happen. But in and of itself, this cannot be the final goal of us as human beings, or our organizations, because then we become what the neoclassical economics makes of us, no, just atoms individual entities that have only one thing that distinguishes them, and it's what they call their purchasing preferences. Okay, I want to buy 100 kilos of yogurt at 50 euros. You
Mm,
want to buy 20 liters of car lubricant at 100 euros. And this is the only thing that characterizes us. And
mm,
I think that the tragedy that we are living currently, we have been living it for a long time, but I think now it's more than in the past. The tragedy is that we have become the 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 fictitious figures that the neoclassical economics pretends we are. And so we are in a society that more and more and more tries to transform us into these theoretical figurines that have only their whose only reason for existing is buying something, no,
mm,
or gaining, making a profit or making a salary or whatever. And when life is like that, then it becomes a tragedy, because
mm,
we might as well, I mean, this is not worth it. And to connect to something a little bit wider is, I think, something that we should try to do, as much
mm,
as it's complicated or difficult or uh, contradictory or paradoxical. No.
mm. But luckily, there are some free thinkers still.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, the value system of Erasmus Plus is pretty much going to a different direction of a healthy person who is maybe acting on many levels. And I'm just wondering that I heard recently that you are also very closely connected to agriculture, but I
Hmm.
don't know anything about it, how it is incorporated into your program of Libero Pensatore, or how are you related to that exactly?
Well, it it all starts from the fact that in this widening of our perspectives, one dimension that I think is absolutely central is nature. For me, in
Mm,
my own life, nature has always been a great teacher that is always there and is always um, available, always willing to give us her gifts. And so um, after a few years of working with this cultural archaeology, then the thing started with
mm,
the olive tree. We put together groups of people in our association, recovering abandoned olive orchards. Uh, the cultivation of olives is an activity that has thousands of years, and yet it's disappearing because it's not economical. But it had a huge amount of traditions, of culture, of things to be learned about how to live, no, how to enter in a relationship with the plant. And so this is how it started.
mm.
Actually, in 2014, there was a competition for social innovation competition of the European Commission. That was Europe-wide competition. There were like 1,500 projects sent from all over Europe, and we ended up being among the first 10. And so
Oh,
this was a great experience. We were invited in Bilbao to present our project, to refine it, to transform it into an actual workable project. we ended up not gaining the prize, the money prize that was, I think, 3,000 euros. But this is not really the point. The point
Important.
is that
Mm.
from there, several ideas came out to explore sustainability in agriculture in our territory here in Umbria. We live in a place that is the landscape is absolutely all about olive trees, all about grapes, maybe cereals, wheat, and all this sort of um, in a way poor agriculture. This is not a place where you grow mangoes or a
Mm.
pineapple, no, and tropical fruit or stuff like that. And so we started thinking about it, and basically in the last 3 months we received the first our first project for Erasmus Plus was submitted and
Mm.
accepted, and I'm currently working on the partnership agreement and doing the first steps to implement the project. And it is a project on agriculture, about agriculture with farmers, and the
Mm.
idea is to train them on theater methods,
Wow.
so bringing the farmers to become not to become theater actors, but working with them on theater methods to make them, to give them a voice, to
Mm.
allow those who work on with nature and on nature, particularly those who work in a sustainable way, to be able to tell their stories, to be
Mm.
able to express their vision, their values, and because the agriculture is a very conservative world.
Yes.
Normally, we are the farmer is we just this archetype of the farmer that is silently toiling in on the fields. It's actually true for many people. And so, uh, how does change happen in agriculture? Change happens through imitation.
Mm.
Farmers have learned to use, for example, glyphosate, which is a cancerogenic product that destroys really our health, our environment. They have learned because they have been told by other farmers that this was a solution to the problem of insects,
Mm.
and by doing that they destroy the environment. So the idea of theater is, okay, let's take those farmers who are experimenting with sustainability, that are trying to respect nature in some way. I don't know which. There might be 1,000 ways to experiment with a more sustainable agriculture. Let's take these people and give them a voice. Let's make them more powerful, more effective in telling their stories. And if we do that, we can, I hope, we can help a better agriculture to emerge, because then
Mm.
other people will listen to them if these people can tell their stories.
It sounds like that you make the land speak as well, like that you make also like also what you said, that to put art into agriculture is like to put together two very opposite way of thinking and approaching, but it's still possible, and the integration can bring something very meaningful also for the participants or the farmers, and also for us who are non-farmers, and uh,
Totally,
and it's
totally. It's about bringing back the thickness of things, the thickness of experience, no, and not just uh, uh, not just living our what we do, our profession, just like one dimension, just like a small cog. Okay, I am an accountant. I am a farmer. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I just till the soil. Well, it is, there is more to it than that, and if we can connect with the artistic or cultural aspect of it, we will all be more happy. And if we are more happy, we destroy less the environment, I think, because all this nonsense in destroying the environment is because I think, because we lack meaning in what we do.
Mm.
And so we have to try to bring back meaning in what we do. Otherwise, we are doomed as a species, really.
Thank you very much, Angelo, for your words. And we are finishing the podcast with you. Is there anything that you want to add, or a question I didn't ask from you and you would love to explore?
Huh. Uh, no, I'm just the only thing I want to add is that to those who are listening to this podcast, if you haven't done so, explore the world of Erasmus Plus, because this is probably one of the best things that our common continent has done for during its long life. And I cannot but say that explore Erasmus Plus, and if you want, get involved and contribute to it, because this is a very good opportunity for us to make our continent a better place.
Thank you very much for the encouraging words. And I would like to say goodbye to you and also for our listeners.